Hello and welcome to HyzerMedia's coverage of the 2023 White Rose Open presented by MVP Disc Sports. This is the final round of the tournament, which we'll be playing at the Purple Course at Codorus State Park. Thank you to our sponsors of this coverage, Cosmic Disc Golf, D-Town Disc Golf, and Reaper Disc Supply. I'm Nathan Johnson, and I'm joined in the virtual booth by Dan Brooks Wells. How's it going, Dan?
Going good, man. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm excited to watch this final round coverage.
Yeah, so am I. It was a beautiful day, different from the previous one. And leading the way, I'm at neg 18. I had two good first rounds. Tied for second right now is Dylan Horst at neg 16. Two 8-down rounds, 10-12 and 10-08. With the same exact score is Matt Hammersten. Same exact rounds, neg 8 for round 1 and 2. And joining us on the card is Nathan Laughman at neg 15. Neg 3 the first round, and just absolutely had the hot round at neg 12. So starting off on hole 1, sponsored by D-Town Disc Golf. This is a par 3, 274. Dead straight, OB left and right. And let's not forget that the wind is howling right now.
Yeah, super blustery day out here on the Purple Course, and as you will notice, this course is way more open than the blue course as well, so we're definitely going to be feeling the effects out here.
Yeah, and I'm going with a Terra off the tee, and try not to throw it too hard, and just came up a little short, but, first throw out of the car, not out of the car, but first throw out of the gate, and I'm not upset with that. Looks like Dylan's going to try a similar line.
Yeah, I think most players are probably going to go with the forehand here and just kind of try to dig it into this hillside. Oh no, and he catches that one tree that's kind of in the way, but he will have an uphill putt, which isn't the worst thing in the world on this hole.
No, not at all. Especially not in the wind. You want to be able to have a safe bid at it.
Yeah, Hammer, he's going to go with the backhand line, something over the road. Maybe skip it back in. Doesn't quite slide down the hill though, so that's going to be a downhill putt for him. Definitely pretty scary for your first hole of the day.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he was trying to actually fly it there, or if he was actually trying to get a skip off the road. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, I probably think that's probably unlikely given the fact that it was a slower disc. But the good thing about throwing the backhand is if you do hit the road, you'll likely come in bounds. Nice shot for Nathan as well. He is, as far as I know, only throws forehands. I've never seen him throw a backhand personally, so it'll be interesting to watch how he attacks the course. Dylan wants none of that putt, just lays it up, takes his par, moving on.
Yeah, the wind's blowing pretty good. I know you can't see much, but Dylan does a smart play.
Yeah, you didn't quite commit to that, but honestly, an air ball is maybe better than hitting the cage or the band on this hole. Here's Nathan with his uphill putt. Just leaves a little left. I don't know what the putters he uses are, but they are the strangest putters I've ever seen. They have these like dimples in them. Like I don't know. They're weird.
Yeah, I actually picked it up a few times, out of the basket after he cleaned up his putt, and I was like, man, do you like it? He's like, love hate. Ooh.
Oh man, Hammer just airballs that one. That's a very surprising miss.
Yeah, uncharacteristic. He was thrown into a complete headwind.
Yeah, downhill headwind putt, super tricky. So now he's got an uphill tailwind putt, and that just drops out of the sky. That was what I was talking about. Tough to hit metal on this hole and stay close. That's going to roll him back to probably outside the circle, 40-footer off the top. Wow.
It's a good bid.
Yeah, really good effort, but that is not the way you want to start your tournament, especially final round. He's 2 strokes back, looking to make a push, and just like that, it's going to be 4-stroke deficit. So good job from Nathan. Cleans up the par. No strokes lost for him. You're able to grab that par as well. And we're off to the races.
Yeah, holding nothing back. Round 3, baby. Hole 2. Par 4, sponsored by Reaper Disc Supply. This is 538 feet. There is a hyzer gap off the tee, or I think most people kind of just go straight. A little bit of a low ceiling, but This hole's pretty straightforward. It's just throw it straight and don't go left too far on the road OB. So I'm going with my Mayhem and looking to flip it up a bit. And I'm happy with this flight.
Yeah, nice shot from you. Anything that hits the gap and just kind of pushes straight is nice. I have thrown and have seen some people throw like the big hyzer out and around to the right. But if I, at least when we played this hole, we had like a left to right wind, which really just doesn't work well for the hyzer play. So I think you'll see most people head up the gut. Dylan goes for the forehand. Does that stay in bounds?
It does. We all thought it was going straight OB. But he threw an overstable enough disc, and I mean that was crushed. He's putting.
Yeah, that's a smash. 538, and he's almost pin high. Wow.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. Nathan throws forehands, so just get used to that, everybody.
Yeah, I mean he's a super consistent player, right? Like he shot 12 down in the woods. Like that is definitely his strength. So it'll be very interesting to see how he attacks this more open course, especially in this wind. Will make things tricky for when you're dealing with angle control and things along those lines.
Yeah, and for this upshot, I do remember it being left to right. You can see it kind of just pushes disc a little bit. Going back to Hammer's shot, he did crush that drive, so that gives you a little bit easier of an upshot when you're 50 to 80 feet closer than everybody else.
Yeah, and this basket is like on the edge of a slope kind of. So you definitely don't want to throw it long because you can find that road pretty quick. So definitely want to make sure to leave yourself a stress-free putt if possible on this hole. So Hammer, he's got a jump putt into the basket after that drive.
Yeah, and he's laying up, smartly and getting a stroke back from hole one. And you can see Dylan, once we get a picture of the basket, this is a legit putt for Eagle.
Wow, and probably a tailwind putt, so pretty runnable, but just gets knocked down by the wind. Still, I'm sure he's happy with a tap-in birdie.
Happy as he can be.
So yeah, this is definitely a headwind putt for Nathan, and just leaks it out a little left. That's that range, edge of the circle, 25 feet. That it's almost too close to lay it up. You got to give it a bid, but with the wind, it's just such a tough putt. Same thing for you, just a little low. Didn't quite commit to it.
Yeah, it's the wind kind of got in my head. I don't want to give up strokes, but you want to three this one.
Yeah, in calm conditions, this is a must-get birdie, right? At 538, pretty open, par 4.
Yeah.
But once it gets windy, and especially with this basket placement, it's one where a big number can sneak up on you if you're not careful. So yeah, after those drives from Matt and Dylan, obviously easy birdies for them, but if you're not in position, it makes it very tricky.
Hole 3, sponsored by Cosmic Disc Golf. This is a par 3, 246, slightly uphill, and just 2 guardian trees here. Throw what you want. You can throw backhand, you can throw forehand. I think the forehand is the preferred play just because of the slope of the hill.
Yeah, I like the forehand here, but you got to go high with it like Dylan is. There's a bunch of like small little trees that could grab your disc if you go for more of a low route. Looks like Dylan leaves it out a little wide, maybe a little deep. It's going to be tricky. But this backhand is not a bad option. You just have to make sure you give it enough width because the hill is going to pull it back down to the left at the end of the flight. So Hammer, to kind of mitigate that, looks like he's going with a more direct shot with a slower disc, and unfortunately catches one of the 2 trees that are up by the basket and leaves him with a bit of a putt.
Yeah, we were wondering what happened to that because that looked like it was going to be parked, and I mean, what else could have happened? But that was a great tee shot by him. So I kind of tried to correct off a Dylan shot and hang it out a little bit more left, and I just kind of juiced it.
Yeah, a little deep putt, uphill putt, so that's what you want to give yourself on a day like today. Nate, he's lining up the more direct line as opposed to your guys' spike hyzers, and wow, that almost goes in and just runs way deep. That's a surprising skip back uphill. Definitely had a lot of juice on that shot. Maybe the wind had something to do with it.
Most likely, yeah. Yeah, so I'm a little outside the circle. Have a little bit of a right to left tail. Ah,
Oh, a lot of a tail. That got a big lift.
yeah, once the flight plate kind of showed itself, it just took it. So not happy with having a comebacker there, but I wanted to give it a run. Here's Nate.
Yeah, he got a headwind lift there. Just never lets the disc drop. It's one of those putts you almost have to aim at the cage and just kind of hope that your disc lifts a little in the headwind coming
So
downhill.
so hard to actually do.
Yeah, Dylan's kind of just does the same thing, just kind of hangs up in that wind. Let's see if Hammer can grab the birdie.
Yeah, so this feels like a similar putt to hole one, I believe, for Hammer. I mean, this is a headwind, circle's edge, maybe 25 feet. Just
Wow.
great.
On the stripe, that is a really great putt, especially like you said, after that really tough break on hole one to bounce back with two birdies in a row. I'm sure he's feeling good.
Yeah. Mm,
Ooh, sneak it in.
we take it.
Yeah, pars are good on this on today, you know. No, again, this course, purple course, very shreddable, very open. But once you add the wind, there's a lot of tricky basket placements, super blustery, and you know, pars aren't gonna lose you strokes. Well, they will, but you know, as long as you're getting some birdies in there, it'll work out.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those courses where if it's not windy, you're looking to shred, and if it is windy, you're looking to like semi shred in an A tier.
Yeah.
So tricky putt for Nathan coming back. You can see the wind on his clothing.
Ooh,
Gets it in.
just barely hangs on there.
You know, and giving up these strokes in the third round, like, you know, any other day these would be automatic putts, but you just want to take your time and execute. Try not to make a little mistake. So hole four, this is sponsored by BS Upshot. This is a par 3, 305. This basket is blind, I believe. Maybe you can see at the top of it, but OB to the right and trouble to the left. So probably plays more like 330, 335 uphill.
Yeah, it is a fast green too, because you're going to see most players throw this wide backhand, but discs just love to leak left down this hill and into the rough. So you definitely want to make sure, as Hammer just throws a beautiful shot there. He's disking down, throwing the mid range. I love that play if you have the power to get it there. Just kind of keep your disc on the high side of the basket rather than skipping a faster disc down the hill.
Dylan trying the same thing. He's throwing a reactor. Just like you said, leaks a little left.
Yeah, but the slower disc keeps him on the edge. He'll still have a putt there.
So I don't have the power those guys have. I'm going with a vault, and I'm trying to pump it a little bit, but I thought this went farther than it did, and now I can see that it did not.
Yeah, just didn't quite have the height, maybe. Kind of got caught up on the top of that hill. Nathan, he's going to be going straight at it with this flex forehand line, which I don't hate for the hillside, but it's pretty tight. And it looks like his just comes out a little low there and gets caught up early.
Leaves himself a little bit of tester.
Yeah, you don't want those on a day like this. That's his knee knocker. So here's Dylan for his birdie uphill.
Ooh.
Just a little short.
Dylan having to contort his body in a weird putting stance and throws as he's been doing the past 2 rounds. And
just a little short from you as well, from that 25 foot or so.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the putts that are either that could win you or lose you the tournament, you know, as Nathan leaks out left as well. We should mention that the field is super tight. There's probably at the beginning of this round was at least 10 people within, 4 strokes of the lead. So if you get hot on this round and are able to make those 25 to 30 foot putts and string some birdies together, almost anybody could make a run for this tournament.
Right. And Not to mention, Matt just went 3 in a row to not only erase his first hole, but he's now down one and he's right back in it. Hole 5, sponsored by On Your Card, where you can play fantasy disc golf against the pros. This is a par 3, 420 feet, way downhill, and you can throw whatever you want. Putter, mid, fairway. I think probably the common play is either a mid or a fairway, but you can do what you like.
Yeah, we had a pretty strong tailwind here, so whatever you can keep straight going this far downhill is probably the disc that you want to go with. As Hammer splits that tree on the, oh my gosh, what a shot.
Yeah, trying to make it 4 in a row. I mean, that's that yellow mid-range he keeps throwing. He's just such good control. And Dylan's going to go with a slower disc. I believe this is a proxy, so a putter.
Yeah, I like the putter play here for Dylan. He's got all the power in the world to reach this hole. But looks like this one's just going to leak. Oh, not even. Just great. Held straight, goes deep on a 420-foot hole with a putter.
Yeah, he just threw that putter like 450 or 60 feet.
Wow, what a shot.
Yeah, I'm going with the vault here. I like to play a little flex and try not to go too far past.
Yeah, I don't hate the flex line down the right-hand side and kind of drive it back into that hill. There's really just one tree that can kind of grab your disc, the one that Hammer went through. As long as you avoid that one, you're probably going to have yourself a putt.
Yeah. Now, Nathan, there's definitely a forehand line. I think he just gets over on this a little bit going downhill.
Yeah, that's definitely the miss. There's a bunch of rough on the right-hand side that you don't want to find yourself in. So if you're going to go with a forehand or something that fades out to the right, definitely want to make sure your miss is left.
Yeah, and if you're not close to this basket, you're up there, you're pretty much looking at a death putt, so that's a good layup by him.
Ooh. Dylan, he's giving that a run, just a bit left. Squeaks out the left-hand side. This is a scary putt for you here. Downhill, basket's kind of on a little bit of a slope. We are in a bit of a valley, though, so there's not quite as much wind. And yeah, you're able to take advantage. Nice first birdie of the round.
Yeah, that one felt good. After missing the first 4, all those putts, I was just telling myself, give this a good bid, and happy to do so.
Really nice birdie putt. Hammer, he's looking to make it 4 in a row after the double bogey to start. Taking his time. And he connects. It's a great birdie.
He's got to be feeling good. I mean, he's just on a roll right now. That double bogey, little fire under him, and not making any more mistakes right now.
Yeah, and these couple holes that are coming up too are going to be a great chance to kind of string some birdies together, especially if you're feeling good like he is, because they're a bit more wooded and a bit more out of the wind.
Yeah, coming up on hole 6, sponsored by Slippery Saucers Disc Golf. This is a par 4, 466. Not the farthest, but it is technical. So you can see you got to hit this gap. It's more uphill than it looks in the video, and the basket's off to the left.
Yeah, I think most players are probably just trying to drive something into the hill and get a bit of a scoot up it. It doesn't really matter what you throw because that hill's probably only, as Hammer kind of leaks out left. Fortunate kick to not go too far in there, but yeah, I don't hate the forehand here from you. Doesn't really matter as long as you just throw something straight for like 250 feet, then it's bound to hit the hill and then it'll kind of just, do its thing.
Right. Yeah, and when I was practicing this course the day before or the 2 days before, I said just be over to the right if you're going to make a mistake. So I'm happy with the center cut and should have an open up shot. So Dylan, on the other hand, can crush it, see where he gets to.
Yeah, puts a little more height under it. Catches some cabbage, but fights its way through there a little bit.
Yeah, he'll be all right. He's on that right side.
Nathan, surprise, surprise, he's going to line up the forehand as well. Maybe a little overturned, but it's not a bad thing for him because he's going to be throwing another forehand into the green, I would think.
Mm-hmm. Here's Hammer. It looks like he has a little tight line. I don't know if he's going on the outside or the inside of that tree on the right that we see. But either way, he's got a gap to hit.
Yeah, this if he's trying to get to the basket, it is playing pretty far from down here. So I would think he's probably just trying to get up to the top of the hill, which he does very nicely, and just take the par.
Smart play.
Yeah, this is going to be a really technical shot here from Nate. I don't know if he's going to go for a roller or maybe just like a slow turning shot, but he's got to get this disc to finish to the left somehow on a forehand. And that one just came out a little low.
Yeah, it seems to be his misses right now are just overturning it a bit. A little hyped right now, you know.
Yeah, just putting a little extra juice on it. Maybe that little bit of wind is kind of toying with him. Dylan, after a really nice drive, just a nice straight backhand putter into the green. Comes up a little bit short, but he'll have a putt.
Yeah, it's a little bit shorter than what it looked like from where we were, but like you said, he'll have a chance at the bird.
Yeah, it's probably maybe 200 or so feet from here. Slightly uphill. Well, not slightly, very uphill. This is tricky to get your footing, honestly, but you're going with the backhand too. Scoot it up there. Maybe a little left, but that's a putt as well.
Here's Hammer to get up there so he can save his par. And that's a nice touch flick.
Yeah, super smooth, nose up to get a look to control the ground play. Very well done. See if Nathan can do the same. Yeah, it comes up a little short, maybe a little overturned again, like you said. All right, let's see if Dylan can connect here. 25 feet or so for his birdie. Just didn't quite commit. It is worth mentioning, it was a bit chillier on this day. I mean, obviously you can see Nate, he's got his beanie on, but you didn't quite have the same, life in your fingers as he just misses a bit short as yesterday. Probably a good 20 to 30 degrees colder.
Yeah, it makes gripping the disc and putting a little bit harder, and obviously the wind makes putting way harder. So happy to
Not hard for you though. Yeah, nicely done. Connect on that 26-footer for your birdie. Kind of cushion that lead again. It was getting a little hairy there, but able to right the ship.
Yep, Matt has a really nice par save from where he was, and the rest are going to be cleaning up.
Yeah, we're going to get into probably the only wooded stretch on the course, on the purple course, I should say, coming up. So we could see a little more score separation over the next 3 holes.
Hole 7, sponsored by Linked Disc Golf Supplies. This is a par 3, 264. It's downhill, and like you said, it is wooded. So there's a little bit of a gap on the left side, which I think most people are going for. I'm trying to flick my pyro and not too hard, just hit the gap.
Yeah, anything that's overstable down the left is kind of the play. It's tough to get your disc to stop on this hole. It is quite a ways downhill. Looks like a little overturn there from you, but it's a tough hole. It's a bit poke and pray. There's not really one defined gap. It's more just like the left is the most open part of the hole, so that's probably what you'll see most players take.
Yeah, and Matt hits that gap, but like you said, it's hard to get it to stop.
Yep. Goes about 30 long. He'll have an uphill comeback or putt. See if Dylan can kind of correct on the speed control here. And
Dylan's throwing a zone here to try and slow it down.
I like the angle, but it's a little high. Yeah, also just nothing to stop it.
Yeah,
just goes deep.
Dylan issues.
Yep. Nate, he's going a little more inside. Ooh, fortunate, maybe unfortunate. I don't know.
I think that was unfortunate. I think he would have settled a little bit closer than that and had more of an open putt. But here's Hammer outside the circle.
Quite a ways, yeah, quite a ways uphill. About 35, and he cashes it. Gets it to hang on the right side. That's a really nice birdie.
Oh yeah, just flexes it in there. Another note for this green, it's a beautiful green. You can see at Dylan and Hammer's feet those purple flowers. Do you know what those are called?
I do not.
Me neither, but they're all looking great, and they're awesome.
Yeah, yeah, it is definitely picturesque, I will say, although I am not a nature expert. Um,
I think the
I'm not,
technical term is purple flower.
yes, yes, and the Latin.
Yeah.
As Dylan, oh, just off the band, a bit high. So yeah, here's where Nathan ended up after that kick and roll, about 25 feet or so, and just didn't quite get the power on it.
Yeah, it was. You could see how his footing. He couldn't like get back at all to put any of his lower body, so hard to get the power on it. And I almost missed that. I tried.
Little right hand side on your par tap in, but no pictures on the scorecard, just videos this week.
That's right. Just videos. Hole 8, sponsored by Anthem Films. This is a par 4, 333. And this is a dog leg left. As much of a dog leg as you can get. Pretty much a right angle.
Yeah, this hole is reachable. I mean, although I don't know if you would want to run a circle's edge putt if you got it on this hole because the green is very downhill, but yeah, this is kind of just take your most overstable or a very slow disc like Hammer's doing here, put it on a bunch of hyzer and let it cruise down the hill.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. That's how it got so deep into the rough. We thought it looked great, and I was wondering how it got so far to the right. Had a little log kick, but it was a good shot. Unfortunate kick into the rough.
Yeah, it's almost one of those, like you said, it's pretty much a right angle left. So the only way to hit this, tunnel is to get a big flare skip, I think, off the ground. And it's such a short hole that most people are throwing a slow enough disc that you're just really not going to see that too often.
Yeah.
So most players will just lay up kind of to the mouth like you did. Looks like Dylan comes out a little low. He's going to end up in pretty much the same place. The upshots from there are tricky. It's probably like 100 foot, straight downhill shot. So it's definitely not a easy birdie. This is a terrifying forehand hole, but
No.
that's a really nice shot.
Yeah, he makes it work. I mean, that could possibly be another way to get there, but it's super technical. And Dylan with a great upshot. I mean, I know he looks a little far, but you're pretty much happy with that.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to get a disc to stop next to the basket on this upshot. It's so sloped and it's an elevated basket, and there's so many roots near the basket. Like, yeah, if you end up 15 like you did there, that's completely fine. Because I've seen so many discs just stand up and roll to like 40 feet long.
Oh, what a nightmare. Yeah. The other thing about this hole is I like being on the short end of the basket just because the ground is higher. So you have more of a basket level putt.
Yeah, that's a good point. So here's Hammer. He went deep off the fairway, but he went far enough down there that he's probably close to the edge of the circle. I mean, again, you're not running this putt just because of the elevated basket on the severe downhill. He's happy to just lay up and take his birdie.
Yeah, and I was asking him like what kind of line he had, and he's like, I had like a 2x1 gap. So good on him to hit it. And nice putt from Nathan.
Yeah, that's a scary putt because if you airball that one, it is gone down that hill. So good job to collect himself, connect on that one. And if you hit this, we're looking at a star frame for the card.
No pressure.
Yeah, sorry. Good thing you can't hear me. Ooh, sneak it in left side. There you go.
Thank God.
Yeah, that's a sigh of relief for sure. I mean, we only got 10 holes left in this tournament, so it's coming down to crunch time.
It is, and you don't want to give up any strokes. I mean, every stroke matters. You want to take your time on every single thing. And ooh,
speaking of, yeah, take your time there. Top shelf.
Hey, it's in.
Nice star frame there for the group. Hammer, he's trying to show off the logo for the fans watching at home.
Hole 9. This is sponsored by the Glen Rocks Disc Golf Club. This is a par 3, 246. Pretty good uphill elevation. Take a mid-range, take a fairway driver, and pump it up the middle. There's a few trees to miss.
Yeah, I think most people are just going to take that straight line. I think that there is a hyzer gap on the right, but I don't know. I just think the straight line is the most direct way and most consistent way to get yourself a birdie putt. So Hammer just comes out a little low. He's going to be well short of the basket. Um, it is a bit of a low ceiling and a high floor situation. So definitely a good tricky hole for coming in at only about 250 feet.
Yeah, I think next time, yeah, I get over on that. I'm going to practice the Hyzer line. I'm really curious about it. When I practiced, I threw the straight line and it was fine, so I was like, go with that. But
I mean,
yeah,
yeah, the
that's the
hyzer gap is definitely bigger, like right off the tee, right? But I think it gets quite a bit tighter as those backside trees come into play and a lot closer to the green. Dylan's hugging the left side here, but he's able to sneak all the way through, puts it under the
oh, yeah.
basket.
Yeah. Trick shot Dylan. That was great.
Yeah, this is going to be a tricky forehand hole as well, given how uphill it is. Definitely shapes better for the backhand, but he's going to use the whole width of the fairway, drag it right to left, fades back at the end, and he'll have an uphill birdie putt. Nice shot.
Yeah, that was really cool to watch from the tee.
So now you're going to just try to get up and down here. Yeah, leaked it out a little bit, but that's fine.
It is.
Yep. Yeah, so that tree's about circle's edge short. So Hammer's coming up about 45, 50 footer here for his birdie. Nah, just content to let it.
after that,
Couldn't quite
after
commit.
that, he goes, I almost hit that tree.
It is a big tree, I will say. Nice birdie putt there from Nathan. As you can see, a hole 14, I think, on the blue course in the background. Um,
Yeah.
but yes, nice tap in for Dylan, replicating from Hammer on the last hole. He scoots out of the way.
Yeah.
Couple par tap ins for the two of you, and you got yourself a one-stroke lead coming down the stretch. How are you feeling at this point, Dan?
I don't know, man. There's a couple of holes I want back, but I was happy to hit putts like this, and I feel fortunate to still have the lead going into the back nine.
We got 9 holes left of the 2023 White Rose Open, and it is going to be an exciting finish, I promise. Hello and welcome back to HyzerMedia's coverage of the 2023 White Rose Open presented by MVP Disc Sports. This is the back nine of the final round. It's bound to be an exciting finish. Thank you to our supporting sponsors of this coverage, Cosmic Disc Golf, D-Town Disc Golf, and Reaper Disc Supply. I'm Nathan Johnson, joined in the booth by Dan Brooks Wells.
How is it going? I'm excited for this back nine. And we're going to start it off on hole 10. This is a par 4, 537. This hole's sponsored by the Glen Disc Golf Club. It was extremely windy on this hole. And there's an OB road on the left side and trees to get caught up on the right side. So it feels like an open shot, and it is, but it can be a little hairy.
Yeah, this is one of those holes in calm conditions. It's a must-get birdie, and playing into a headwind just makes it quite tricky. Still very gettable at only 537 feet, but your upshot, you want to put it close.
Yeah, you can see the wind kind of flip Dylan's discs right there, and he gets caught up in the trees, but he'll be in an all right position.
Yep, here's Nathan. If you didn't watch the front nine, he is an all forehand player. So he's going to go with the forehand off the tee, puts it in the middle. It'll work out just fine.
Yeah, and if you didn't watch the front nine, go watch that first. Then
yeah, what are you doing?
What's going on here? Matt decided to look at Dylan's line. He said he beefed up, but the wind just takes hold of it and was surprising. He was surprised to see it flip that much.
Yeah, those right side trees come in quick if your disc turns over. I think most players are just trying to, aim for the trees knowing that your disc is going to fade left. But yeah, once the disc takes it and flips it, there's no coming back.
Yeah, and I saw that, so I threw the most overstable thing in my bag, which is a patent pending nitro, and that flew a little bit straighter than I'm used to it flying.
Yeah, still a great shot though. Puts you in the middle of the fairway. That's a tough forehand to commit to with the OB road on the left. He'd really have to hang it out wide, and into a headwind, it's tough to trust that your disc isn't going to flip over.
Yeah, Matt here, he ended up going with a mid range, And I was talking to him about this shot. It's got a nice flight, comes up a little short. I was talking to him about it. I was curious why he didn't go with the fairway. And he said, I know I can get a mid-range there, and if I throw a fairway, I might throw it out the back. So I can't argue with that. The wind just kind of knocked it down.
Yeah, knowing that that mid range is just going to kind of hold to the right the whole time and not fade out too is definitely a good option. And you throw a beauty of an upshot, but that one's super close.
Dylan seems to be going with his zone here.
Yeah, wind's kind of wind was taking that one a little left, might have been into some trouble, but catches that one tree, and that'll leave him with a putt. So Nate now just trying to get up and down for the par. Catches that same tree, but that tree's only about 20 feet or so, so not the worst thing ever. This is a scary putt, though, on the elevated basket into a headwind, and Dylan just gets the nose down, and that putt just gets slammed to the ground. Nathan now to save his par, and his putt gets lifted.
Man.
Yeah, just the slightest differences in nose angle making a huge difference out here in this wind. Nice putt, though, from you to keep that one nice and flat, drive it into the chains.
Yeah, sometimes, when you're not sure what the wind's doing, I know it's tough to get yourself to do. Oh, no.
Oh, man, that's a little right, but still a really tough spit out.
Yeah, I was saying it might be tough to get yourself to do, but putting it a little bit harder might help you fight through it. But yeah, Dylan, I mean, that one, you just think it's going to stay and it just gets pushed out.
Yeah, just maybe a little lapse in focus there. Just lets it leak out on him.
Hole 11, sponsored by Central PA Disc Golf. This is a par 3, 261. The only real trouble is this gap off the tee, and for the most part, it's just mind games. Hit the gap and get the disc in the circle.
Yeah, it's close enough to the tee that you really shouldn't have to worry about it too much. I think most players are going to elect for a forehand if you've got it, just because of that right to left sloping hill. You can kind of just drive your disc into the ground and let it scoot up towards the basket like you've done there. Leave it a little short, but that's a good shot.
Yeah, a little bit shorter than I'd like, but, happy to hit the gap.
Yep, here's Hammer. He's going to try to correct off your line, maybe a little bit higher.
Yeah, he's throwing a little bit faster of a disc, too. He's going with the fairway. I noticed that when he flicks, he usually flicks fairways. So he gets a little bit more distance than I do.
Yeah, a bit more of a flex line as opposed to the straight at it, but worked out for him.
Dylan with his zone, you can see, we all throw forehands, but we're all throwing different speeds. Just play your game,
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, yeah, whatever you're comfortable with, right? That's kind of the name of the game on this hole. It's that distance where you could probably throw any disc in your bag and get yourself a birdie putt, but which one is going to work for you on the day.
Right. We're wondering if we can get all 4 forehands. All right.
We do, and Nate's going with a little flexy line, comes back very nicely, and he's going to be the closest to the group.
Well done.
So it looks like Dylan's going to be up first here. Came up a bit higher on the hill, so he's got another downhill putt, maybe 28 feet or so, and just leaves it out left. The putt's just been a little off today for Dylan. Just doesn't quite have that confidence that you'd like to see in a final round. Just a bit high. That's a probably tailwind putt too. Just didn't quite get the drop.
Yeah, not happy about that, but
so now Hammer coming back. He's able to grab the birdie. That'll pick up a stroke to bring it to 1.
Yeah, when I was stepping up to that putt, I know Hammer's going to hit that, and it's just like I really don't want to lose a stroke here, so don't leave it short. But good on Hammer to take advantage of my mistake and get within 1.
Yeah, well done, Dylan. He's able to clean up his par. Nathan's going to tap in the birdie. And yeah, it's kind of turning into a 2-horse race, at least on this card. We'll see. We'll see how the chase card's doing up here in a little bit, but a bit of a match play scenario.
Hole 12, sponsored by Home Again Disc Golf. This is a par 4, 426. There is a tight gap to hit off the tee, but once you do, It's a decently open up shot that is uphill.
Yeah, this is another one only at 426. As long as you kind of hit this gap and play something into the hill, you're gonna have some way to get up there for the birdie. So Hammer, he's just throwing some backhand hyzer flip, scoots it up there, gets a nice skip, and that'll work out just fine.
Yeah, that's really all you want to do. And,
surprise, surprise. Nathan's going with the forehand, leaks out a little to the right, but once you're through the gap and past that little building over there on the right, it's pretty open, so it doesn't really matter if you fade out one way or the other. More just throw the disc you're comfortable hitting the gap with.
Yeah.
Not great. You kind of pulled it into that tree. Seen some discs sneak through, but looks like you caught a branch and dropped down into the right there. It's going to be a tricky scramble.
Here's Dylan looking to correct. And
it's just a little overturned. But
yeah, he gets over on it, but I mean, he's in the middle. It's not that far of a hole. He's got all the power in the world. He'll be all right.
Yeah, still a great shot. Definitely birdieable from there. I'm sure he's fine with you. Actually, just a little high.
Not good. Yeah, I was going for the green. I just didn't get it turned over at all. So I'm left with still a tricky upshot.
Yeah, quite a ways uphill. Definitely low ceiling, and as we'll see in a second here, this basket is high rise, and this is probably the windiest green on the course. At least that's what it felt like when I played the hole.
I'd agree.
So definitely want to put your upshot close. Nathan's going with the forehand, and it just catches those two guardians on the left-hand side. The right is definitely more open as you approach the green. So that's why Dylan is going to elect for the backhand here. Looks like a bird. Comes up a bit short, but that'll be a putt. Probably a headwind putt, I would think, as you have a lot of the wind coming up the hill off the water.
Yeah, Hammer here had a great drive. Just a little pitch up and catches it. Look at it. I mean, that's just wind just blowing it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a great shot, but yeah, it just gets on edge and stays there once the wind gets a hold of it. So now he's got a much longer putt than I'm sure he originally wanted. Nathan is going to run this. Maybe a little safer bid with that crosswind. Able to stay close.
Yeah, so windy. I try to give it a little floaty bid, and I'm not too upset. I mean, I'm upset with the bogey, but, I made mistakes.
Right, yeah. And it could have been made a lot worse on this green. You definitely don't want a three-putt. Hammer, though, wow, just puts it on the stripe. Straight headwind. That's a really great putt to pick up 2 strokes on you.
Yeah, just clutch. I mean, he didn't let the rollaway get in his head. He just steps up and does what Hammer does, and Dylan leaves it a little high.
Yeah, I mean, I was very surprised we didn't see a lift like that when Hammer putted. But he's just such good spin control, such good nose angle control on that putt to Dylan just off right again. This screen is just so windy. You can't tell on camera because there's no flag on the basket, but that's such an impressive putt.
Right. I'll tell you what, though, the one thing that this course gives you are views. Look at that background. I mean, just beautiful, beautiful course.
Yeah, so sick. If you haven't been to Codorus State Park and you live in Pennsylvania or Maryland, definitely worth a visit. There's 3 courses on the property, and it's a great place to come for disc golf.
Yeah, it was home of the Amateur Worlds, correct? Not too long ago.
2019.
Yeah.
As we check in on the scores, Hammer's got a 1-stroke lead over yourself and Lucas Oberholzer Hess, making a push from the chase card to keep himself in contention, so we'll make sure to keep an eye on that the rest of the round.
Yeah, hole 13, sponsored by Daddy Disc Golf Supply. This is a par 3, 364. There is a pretty hefty headwind / right to left. I'd say more headwind. And you got to pump this one because the basket's off to the left. And
yeah, it's on first look, it just, wow, what a shot from Hammer. Leaks it a little deep, but not a problem because he'll have a tail cross kind of putt coming up. This hole plays really far in this wind. It's really important to make sure you're going to have to throw a super overstable disc, and getting that nose angle right to keep pushing forward is very tricky.
This just rolls out. It like flexes out on the roll. Tough, just a tough shot for a forehand in the wind.
Yeah, yeah, with the wind and the slope, and yeah, just definitely not a forehand hole. What are you going with here?
So this is that super overstable nitro that I have, and telling myself just pump it out there, and hopefully the wind will push it. And you
Yeah,
see,
you definitely want to make sure you give it enough width.
yeah, I was kind of upset. I was that it didn't get that much of a push, but I still have a putt.
Yeah, you got a putt. It's going to be a scary putt, but it's all you can ask for on this hole. It's just in this wind. Anything inside the circle is good.
Dylan throwing. I'm pretty sure that's a max. He has a bunch of those in his bag, and I can see why. He knows what to do with them.
Yeah, he's got plenty of power where he can just throw a super overstable disc and play lawn darts there. Nice up shot there from Nathan to make sure to secure his par. And what is this crop? Probably a right to left wind on your putt here.
I don't really remember. I just remember saying, "Give it a
Oh
chance."
my gosh, just off the cage and then off the chains. Great bid.
I know Matt's a good putter, and I felt like I didn't want to lose another one to him. So here's Matt to pick up another stroke, and he delivers.
Such a good putt. In this wind, man, like he's just on the stripe. He's locked in. There's no other way to describe it.
Dylan almost lets that one low, but he gets it to drop. That's a nice bounce back birdie from him.
Yeah, definitely a nice birdie to get. He's still fighting to get a top 10 finish, so don't want to leak any more strokes.
Not at all. Hole 14, sponsored by ND Sites. This is a par 3, 492. It is a peninsula green. You can see the road, and beyond plays OB. And with the wind, I mean, almost, I don't want to say forget about the birdie, but forget about it.
It was straight headwind. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was so hard. This did play as the hardest hole on the course at 3.36 strokes over par.
Yeah, it's a really good play by Hammer. He was not going for it. He knows where he is right now, and he puts it pretty much in the center. So good on him.
Yeah, nice shot. You just take your overstable disc, kind of put it out to the right. Or if you're Dylan, go straight at it. This is probably going to leak, though, and this could find the road if he's not careful.
Good checkup. It's a good checkup.
Yeah. The danger here comes in if you do choose to get aggressive, right? If you play this safe, keep it in the middle, keep it low, it should be a pretty stress-free par. But if you get aggressive with this headwind, that's when you can get into some trouble.
Yeah, you can see. I'm still wondering what the wind's doing. In my mind, I'm like, you need to try and get the birdie. You know you can, but I just kind of like checked up on it, and my body was like, don't do it. I can't even. Can you see? There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of just get your par and move on.
Yeah. We might see, yeah, I would be surprised to see anybody run these long looks, but you never know. Dylan's been first two rounds, if you haven't seen it. Dylan's been getting aggressive and has done pretty well at it, so
It's true.
we'll see. Maybe 60, 70 footer for you. Got a tree right in the way.
I think it's a little longer than that.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, maybe closer to 100.
Yeah.
Just
Cool.
lay it up.
Happy with that. Don't want to have a putt in the wind and going into a stretch where you can get every single birdie. So don't want to take a stupid bogey.
Yeah, just lay it up, put it close. Hammer's going to do the same, put his under the basket. Let's see where Dylan ended up. Yeah, maybe a runnable putt here. It's pretty long, though. No, he doesn't want any part of it.
Nah.
All right, so as they tap out, there was one birdie on the day. You want to guess who it was?
Oh, tell me it's you.
Yes, it was. Hit
Oh.
a circle two putt for the bird.
Nice,
good.
dude. What'd you throw?
Off the tee, I went with my super overstable Calvin Destroyer. Just hung it out wide, and I I got a nice wind lull for my 40-footer, so I was able to connect.
Nice, very nice. Stroke on the field.
For sure. All right, so let's take a look at the scores. Hey, I know that guy in 4th place. Hammer's got a 2-stroke lead now, though, through 14 holes. Myself and Lucas on the chase card. We're trying to make a push, but we know we are going to need a little help coming here down the stretch.
Yeah, it's still anyone's game, and this is hole 15, sponsored by Gripper and Ripper. Plays as an island, as you can see. Very, very awesome built-up hole. But if you don't land in it, it plays as a hazard. So there's no drop zone. You just putt from where you are, and with a penalty stroke. So Hammer throws that mid that he loves so much, or
wow,
yeah, dude,
what a break! Skips off of the stone wall and stays inbounds an inch lower, and that's OB, and he's got a 35-footer for par.
Yeah, that looked like it slipped out of his hand a little bit.
Yeah, and especially these last 4 holes, we've kind of got a swirly wind, so it's really tricky to kind of predict what it's going to do to your disc, and that kind of just makes this island hole even more stressful.
Yeah, this plays great for the spike forehand, and Nathan executes it, textbook.
Yeah, really well done there to keep his shot close. What are you going for? Straight backhand?
Yeah, during practice, I was throwing a proxy or a hex, and there was a little bit of a headwind, so I kind of went more overstable with a reactor. And you can see I got the nose up a bit, and I thought it was there, and it just
a bit short. Yeah, so you'll have a makeable putt just at the edge of the circle. I believe the island is the size of circle 1. So Dylan's coming in about 45 on that putt. Just doesn't quite commit to it. So yeah, you're probably sitting around, what, 35 feet? 33 on the edge?
Yeah, something like that. And, knowing where the scores are at, I pretty much know that if I want any chance, this has to go in.
Yeah, with Hammer as close as he is, this is a 2-stroke swing if you don't connect here. And you do. That's a huge par save to keep yourself at 21 under par. And at worst, a 3-stroke deficit with 3 holes to play.
Yeah. At this point, I'm like, I need to birdie out, and I need Matt to pretty much mess up. So
yeah, all 3 of these final holes are very gettable, but at the same time, with a lead and an A tier, there's no such thing as a gimme. The nerves are definitely going to come into play, so it's definitely not over,
especially with the wind.
For sure. So yeah, here's Hammer for his birdie from about 10 feet. Make sure to take his time and put it on the pole, and he does. So 24 under par for your leader with 3 to go.
Hole 16, sponsored by Niche Bags. This is a par 3, 249, slightly uphill. The green slopes a little bit left to right, and parking lot OB to the right. Shouldn't really come into play, but Hammer going with a putter here.
Yep, just straight at it, not too much in the way. Just want to make sure you throw something overstable enough to not leak out like this. And not a terrible shot. He's still going to have a putt, but definitely not the putt he wanted, I'm sure, on this hole.
No, you can kind of see off Nathan's shirt. I think it's a slight headwind. Nathan beefs up, and he's going to find himself over with Matt.
Yeah, that's a tough. I've seen multiple people throw the forehand on this hole. It's just really tough to keep it close with that left to right slope. I think the straight backhand is definitely the play, and just kind of drive something into the hill and let it scoot up there, which it looks like you're trying to do.
Yeah, so I saw those 2 guys, and I beefed up to an entropy, and I wish I would have stuck with my regular play, but I still have a putt, just not as close as I'd like it to be.
Yeah, a little bit short, but still a putt nonetheless. Let's see if Dylan looks like was that an Envy maybe? Something like
I believe so.
Putter? Yeah.
Eclipse Envy. And
Yep,
usually
just going
it's stable enough, but this one kind of gets away.
Yeah, kind of just threw it flat out of the hand. Maybe wanted it to come out on a little hyzer. Never quite has a chance to finish. So we're going to have 3 guys over here in these leaves putting back uphill. Nathan up first, and he's able to connect. Wow, what a putt.
Yeah, floats it in there. That was awesome to watch.
Yeah, into a headwind. Super smooth uphill spinner, 40 feet. That's a great birdie.
Matt trying to get another stroke.
Yeah, this almost seals the deal if he's able to connect on this putt.
Hmm.
Just a bit high, kind of floated on him.
Yeah, it was a good confident run. He's not a scared run. It's uphill putt, so good to see that though. And
Kind of the same mistake there from Dylan, just gets the nose up and never really has a chance to push into the chains, kind of stalls it out. So you got a
Mhm.
chance to pick up a stroke here from maybe circle's edge just inside of it.
I think you're right, circle's edge, and I know I have to make this if I want any sort of a chance.
Just didn't quite commit, leaves it a little low off the cage.
I just, you hate to leave it low. In that
Yeah.
situation, you just tell yourself, give it a chance. If you miss high, you miss high, but that's the only thing I'm really disappointed about in that putt.
Yeah, tough break, and that's definitely deflating, knowing that now the deficit is 3 strokes with 2 holes to play. It's gonna take a big blunder from Matt, especially with these final 2 holes not being nearly the 2 most difficult holes on this course.
Absolutely. One of the easier holes on the course is hole 17. This is a par 3, 333 feet, just wide open. I mean, I believe for Worlds they chopped this hole up and made it 17 and 18, but this is just you throw it and get it. You
Yeah.
see Nathan kind of turns it over. That's kind of been his mistake of the day, and Matt's looking to put this away, with a birdie.
Yeah, a birdie here gives him a great chance to win this thing. Pretty strong right to left wind, I believe, on this hole. So just wants to make sure he swings it out nice and wide, let the wind bring it back.
Which he
Definitely has the
does.
width.
Anti-skip. He wasn't counting on that anti-skip, and it leaves him a tester.
Yeah, kind of a weird reaction there, and unfortunate, but he'll still have a putt, still give himself a chance. See if you're able to correct maybe a little lower line or slightly more direct. Still give it some good width.
Yeah, I think I threw a little bit more of an overstable disc than he did, and just to fight that wind, and happy with the result.
Yeah, nice shot from you. Put yourself around 15 feet. Dylan, he likes the forehand. I don't hate the forehand play here. I mean, you kind of go more straight at the basket with the forehand in the wind, and Dylan has all the power in the world, so shouldn't be too difficult to get there. And yeah, great shot. All right, so Nathan will be up first after turning his drive over, probably about a 60-footer or so. Really good
Wow.
effort. His spin putt it kind of looks a little wonky, but like it just comes out so clean. So now here's Hammer, just outside the circle to get to 25 under.
Hmm.
Just a bit low. Tailwind might have dropped it. Maybe didn't quite commit as much as he would have liked to.
Yeah, and he knows, as you'll see very soon, what that putt is for, and the rest of us are going to clean up. But hole 18 is going to be an exciting one.
Yeah, definitely gonna. I promised you guys an exciting finish at the end of round two's coverage, and I wasn't lying. Even though this card is still a 2 stroke deficit for yourself, um, it's still going to be quite an exciting finish in terms of the overall scope of this tournament. So good birdie for you, good birdie for Dylan. We're going to have a tap in par here for Nathan, and we're going to take a quick score check in here before we jump into our last hole. And that's right, folks. It's tied at the top. So myself and Lucas, we are finished. We started on hole 2. We're done. Lucas is in the clubhouse at 24 under par, tied with Matt for the lead. So if Hammer is able to get the birdie on 18, he will be your White Rose Open champion.
Yes, and this is probably the easiest hole on the course. Hole 18, par 3, 237. You can flick it, you can backhand it. I'm choosing to throw my pyro on the left side and just kind of skip it in. So Hammer knows what he has to do, and everyone is watching, so you have that extra added pressure.
Yeah, definitely some pressure here, even though this is a dinker. Easy, like you said, this is the easiest hole on the course at 2.38 scoring average. So almost all the whole field, more than 2/3 of the field is taking a birdie here. You and Dylan, nicely done. Just chip a forehand around the corner. You can kind of aim for that electrical box and just slide it up to the basket.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep. We all do our job, and
All right, so here's Hammer. At this point, you got to think he knows he needs this birdie, right?
oh yeah, I mean everyone's come to watch. He knew it on the last hole. He said, "I just got to get one of these two." So here we go.
Lines up the forehand. This is a little wider than you'd like, but he's going to get some ground play. Scoots just probably circle's edge long, not the putt that he would have liked to see for the win here. So about 35 feet, headwind putt. It's going to be tricky.
Absolutely. There's wind, and you can't see it, but literally everybody's watching. So
Yeah, quite a big gallery. This is one of the last cards to finish. So all the pressure in the world for Matt Hammersten. He's got this 35 footer to win the White Rose Open. Bang. On the stripe, you can tell from that fist pump, he knew what that putt was worth.
yep.
Just like he's been doing all tournament, Matt Hammersten comes up with the clutch birdie putt. This one is for the win.
Yeah, man. I mean, just ice in his veins, dude. Like everyone could feel the tension. You could see Lucas gives him a hug. Everyone. Just great competitors. What a fun tournament, and beautiful day. And congratulations, Matt.
Yeah, super well done. Super consistent play throughout all 3 rounds. Congratulations to yourself. That putt right there was to give you solo 3rd place and cost me about $100. But no, well done.
Really fun. Really, really fun tournament.
Yeah, again, congratulations, Matt Hammersten, your 2023 White Rose Open champion. Super consistent. Very fun to watch him. That little scoot off of the stone on hole 15 was a nice break. Take a look at the rest of the top 10.
Yeah, congratulations everybody in the top 10. We had a pretty good field, and just a lot of fun.
Yeah, super fun tournament. Thank you to our supporting sponsor, the Norse Gods. Thank you to the Patreon family for making this all possible. And yeah, thanks to you, Dan. Thanks for joining me in the booth. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I had a really good time, so hope to do it again.
Yeah, we'll have to have you back again soon. For the rest of you all, I've been Nathan Johnson. Thanks also on behalf of Dan Brooks Wells. Make sure to subscribe to HyzerMedia for more tournaments coming in the future.
Later, guys.